YouTube back with another one. Okay, so what I want to talk about in this video is a video that I came across a while back. This had to be maybe 1 or 2 years ago, but it was a video of these men who were partaking in an event that raised awareness for victims of domestic violence, so women in domestic violence situations. And what they did to protest and raise awareness was they put on red high heels and they walked a mile in those red high heels. Yep, that's what they did. And it was, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the name of the event was called Walking a Mile in Her Shoes. So that's what the event entailed. Now, I want to preface this by saying that I am fully in support of the idea of the whole event. So raising awareness for victims of domestic violence, helping raise funds for resources for people in those situations. Because I've never been in that situation myself, and I've definitely never put a woman in that situation. But I've come across people who have been in those situations, specifically women, and so I'm familiar with how hard or difficult it can be to leave for any number of reasons, whether psychological or financial. Because a lot of people they'll look at it at hindsight and they'll just be asking stuff like, okay, why don't you just leave if it's that bad? But it's not always that simple. So I've had the honor of actually hearing some of the stories of these women and men in these situations and why they weren't able to leave as easily as everyone would imagine that they'd be able to leave. So I do support the idea of the event in its entirety, but what I do not support is the emasculation of men. Seeing that video was not only disappointing, but very disgusting. And it really got me thinking that these are not men. Any man who is okay with being emasculated is not a man. Whether it's him emasculating himself or allowing other people to emasculate him. And it was really sickening, because I thought, one thing that I know is that there are plenty ways for you as a man to support a cause, especially for women suffering from domestic violence, that don't require you to emasculate yourself in the process. There are plenty of things that you can do that wouldn't require you to do something that is going to harm your manhood and your dignity like that. So it was extremely disappointing and disgusting. And truthfully, it honestly hurt my soul a little bit as a man to see that. And it got me thinking about what type of men these are. And I realized that they aren't men. They are simply males who value social acceptance and being liked or loved over their own manhood and dignity. That's all they are. Because that is the only type of male that would do something like that. One who does not care about his manhood or dignity. He just wants to be liked. He just wants to be loved. But that is not what being a man is about. I'm gonna tell you the truth. A true man does not care whether or not he is liked or loved. He doesn't. A true man cares about whether or not he is respected. Because respect equates to love in a man's eyes. And that's something a lot of people don't understand about men. Men don't care about being liked or loved. To men, those are just fickle-ass, fleeting emotions that come and go. We as men, we don't put a lot of stock in being liked and loved or loved. But I tell you what we do put a lot of stock in: respect. Since the dawn of time, men from all over the world have fought, bled, killed, and died for this thing called respect. So that should tell you what it means to us as men. And furthermore, I just got to thinking, like, what I would imagine some of these men have families. You know, you have wives, you have daughters, you have sons at home. And I'm like, man, if they want to save face, I would highly suggest that they prevent this video from getting out. But I saw it on a social media platform, so it's already out. Unfortunately, it's too late. But if they wanted to save face, they would have made sure like hell that video didn't get out. Because could you imagine your wife seeing you as a man, the man that she has chosen to be led by, watching you walk in high heels? Can you imagine? She's not gonna be, man, your wife is gonna be drier than the Saharan desert. She is gonna completely dry up for you. Cause she gonna be like, you are not the man that I thought that you were. All attraction that she has ever had for you is gone, out the window, done, and rightfully so. And rightfully so. Your daughters are not gonna look up to you and respect you as their father and protector, leader, because you are setting a horrible example for what a man is by walking in some heels. And don't even get me on the sons. Your sons definitely lost all respect for you right there. All respect. And now your son's probably gonna get older and want to try you. Because they see you not a man. So that right there, that whole situation was just so disgusting and disappointing. And I just can't imagine. I just can't imagine. And this is why when I see these videos of these fathers, you know, letting their daughters paint their fingernails, letting their sons play with dolls, like, it's just, it can't end well. It can't end well. And I really believe that they are messing their children up. They're messing their families up when they do those types of things. And this is why gender roles are so very important. And I talked about it in another video why I'm for gender roles, but this is another reason why. Because it prevents all of that. All of this that I'm talking about right now, it prevents all of that. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate. If I as a man, if I ever saw you as my friend doing some stuff like that, we ain't friends no more, man. We're not. I can't have men like you around. And obviously, if it's blatant, like from the beginning, I'm not gonna be your friend no way, because I don't want to be friends with men like that, with males like that. I want to be friends with men who are of my ilk, you know, who value masculinity and their dignity and manhood. So yeah, that situation was downright disgusting, but that's my thoughts on it. Thank you for listening.